Yeah, coming off a bye week, getting ready for Central Arkansas back at home. It was a good week. Got a bunch of guys healthy that weren't. Gave Robert another week to heal up, and I think we're headed in the right direction. We had a lot of good work done last week, and now obviously we're in game week, so getting ready for UCA, who beat us pretty handily last year. Getting ready to host them at home this year.
Speaking of getting healthy, you mentioned Robert. Are you expecting him to go, or are you guys out?
No, I think he's probably going to be a couple weeks out. Yeah, right now. I think he looks good, but it's just from a healing standpoint, it's going to take at least another couple weeks. So we'll hope to have him back for Nichols.
Yeah, and then just can you speak a little bit about the play of Aiden and how you see him developing and leading the offense?
I think good. I think he operated the game very well. I think he missed some throws I wish he had back. I'm sure he would tell you the same thing, but overall, I thought there wasn't a downgrade in as far as the way the offense operated, and he put us in some good plays from a run standpoint. So I think, obviously his legs were on full display when we played Texas Southern. He had a couple nice runs, and we didn't get sacked at all, so he was throwing the ball on time and doing a pretty good job with that stuff. So feel good about it. I think, even another week with the week off and him getting a chance to really, dig his heels in, I think it was way better, this week too from a timing standpoint. So I think, they're very similar types of people, but I think as quarterbacks they're a little bit different. So I think, tailor the offense a little bit more towards Aiden's strengths. I think that's what we kind of did this week.
Defensively, it started out obviously the loss in North Texas, but the last couple of weeks, right before obviously the bye week, the defense has looked phenomenal. Has really made key stops when they need to. Just heading into Central Arkansas, what with that side of the football, what are they talking about this week?
Yeah, I mean, last year we didn't do a great job against these guys of leveraging the football. We got hurt a lot on the outside with the running backs. We got to do a way better job of leveraging the football, and they do some things offensively, schematically, which causes some eye discipline issues. They motion guys in and out of the backfield and use those guys as pitch keys and jet sweep guys. So you really have to focus on being really, really disciplined with your eyes. So we really talked about doing that this week and really keeping things in front of them and not giving up the explosive plays. But our defense has played well. I think they get better each week. I think I think our front's playing really well. Our D-line is really, had 5 sacks against Texas Southern and really could have had a bunch more. But I think our front's playing really well. I think our linebackers are playing well. I think our secondary is really starting to play well. They haven't really played great for a long time, but towards the end of that Texas Southern game, man, they were really on lockdown mode and felt really good about them. So that, and then our kicking game, obviously, in that game where we blocked 2 punts and both of them went back for touchdowns. It's pretty rare to have something like that happen. Plus, we had 2 explosive punt returns and we had 2 explosive kick returns. So I think special teams are starting to play well. I think that's really a real positive for us, and as long as we can keep that up, I think we'll have a good chance against anybody.
How much easier does it make as a play caller when your special teams is playing as good as they did last week?
What was that again? Say that one more time.
How much easier does it get as a coach when your special teams is playing as good as they are, especially like?
Well, yeah, you go up 7-0 without running an offensive play. That's pretty good. I think that's always makes people feel more comfortable and make people feel better when you get a lead early and you get an opportunity to play from the front, which doesn't always happen. But our guys, makes everybody feel a lot better, a lot more positive, maybe even more apt to take some shots down the field, in offensively, because you feel like you got a little bit of a cushion.
Coming off the bye here, now it's kind of a gauntlet throughout the rest of the team. How did you get your team prepared for that? Hey, there's no more bye weeks. It's going to be a grueling wait until the end of the season.
Yeah, I really don't like bye weeks. I know the benefit of them. I feel like I'm a creature of habit. I like habit. I like the way when things roll at a specific way each week. And last week my week was kind of thrown off, so I'm excited to get back to game week and get back into our habitual. I can walk around this building. We're not even looking, because I know where I'm going, where we're going, what we have this day, what we have that day. It's just that's really a comforting feeling for a football coach. So I'd love to get back into the 9 weeks here, the next 9 weeks, and excited to get into conference play, obviously, in a couple weeks. But this one for us, and I think as a football team, we looked each other in the eye today. We remember how long that trip was home, not only by hours but by feeling. And last year we went into the bye week after this game, and this year we're going into the game coming out of the bye week. So hopefully when we look around that room, that look I see in their eyes, I see that same look on Saturday evening, because our guys are going to be ready to play. I promise you that.
Is there a lot of carryover from Central's team when you look at them from last year? And what are some of the things that specifically, maybe schematically or personnel or otherwise, that you can use from last year's game to prepare for this one?
Well, they had 3 NFL players on that team that are no longer there. The running back, the 2 outside linebackers, both NFL guys. So from that standpoint, they lose a lot of punch. But they got a quarterback that can run, which they didn't have a year ago. They use him a lot in the quarterback run game. And if you looked at the stats from Texas Southern, you realize, hey, man, these guys let the quarterback run around a little bit. That's not a comforting feeling. Defensively, they got a lot of guys back, but, it just doesn't seem like they're playing well together right now. They have a lot of talent. I mean, they're when you look at their guys play, they play well. They're just, for some reason, it just hasn't clicked for them yet as a unit, and hopefully it doesn't start on Saturday. But I do feel like they got a lot of really good football players on both sides of the ball. Their running back, Zero, is a heck of a player. The other kid they had last year was an NFL guy, but I think this guy is bigger, a little bit more physical, a little bit more downhill, which, we tend to struggle with those kind of guys. So, I think they have some benefits to that in the quarterback run game, which I think is going to put us on our heels at times. I think we got to do a good job of staying in front of the sticks on defense. But, against their defense, just a lot of good players. I'm not sure where the disconnect is. Obviously, number 8, Walker, was a game wrecker last year. That guy could take over a game. But I promise you, by this time last year, we had talked 4 times on how we're going to stop that guy, how we're going to put 2 guys on him, how we're going to, scheme to run the ball away from him. I mean, those were real conversations that we had on Sunday and Monday. So, they don't have that kind of guy right now, but I think they have talent all around. They're just not playing well together yet.
You mentioned the bye week and how much you hate it, but when you talk about the locker room personnel, as far as when you have an issue like the quarterback going down with injury and you need another guy to step up, next man up mentality, the vibrancy of the locker room during a bye week to get their minds right, to get their bodies right, to prepare them for a team that you did lose to last year, but you have it, you can get after them this year. What has it been like watching them react in the locker room this bye week?
Good. And I told the guys early in the week, when it's go time, when the green light's on, you got to go. And as coaches, we'll do our best to take care of your bodies, and especially the veterans, the guys that have played a lot of snaps here. I mean, we got 3 offensive linemen with 60 starts just about here. So we've got to be careful with those guys on a weekly basis, and we made sure that we took care of those guys last week. But when we had to go Wednesday, Thursday, they had to go. I mean, they had to go out and practice hard, and we did. And the positive for our team right now is we have a lot of really good veterans, guys that understand what has happened in the past and how we can respond to that in the future. And I think our guys have really done a good job with that, and I feel confident that we're a better football team coming out of the bye week than we were going into the bye week.
Someone you've mentioned in the past had a big game against Texas Southern with Damon McDowell. What did you see from him last game, and what does he bring to the offense as someone who maybe can have some sudden explosive plays?
Yeah, you just said it in that last sentence. He's explosive. I mean, he is a difference maker on kick return. He's a difference maker on the perimeter. Last week we showed we'll run him between the tackles. He's just a complete back, quite honestly, and well beyond his years from a knowledge standpoint and a discipline standpoint and a really a coachable. A lot of times guys come in here from high school that have rushed for a lot of yards, and they're just not really coachable. They just feel like, hey, I'm a really good player. I'm the best player. I'm I was great on my high school team. I rushed for 2,000 yards. And he just was never like that. He was always absorbing, listening, taking cues from veterans. And I think that's helped him be in this position he's in right now. And he gives us a spark on offense. He for surely does. And boy, when that ball is between his hand, between his arm, anything can happen. I mean, he hit some big time plays, even some plays that were broken. He busted those things out of there. And we're just going to continue to feed him and put him in positions to make plays. And I think, by the end of the year, you'll see. I told you guys earlier in the first press conference, that guy's going to make some plays. And he did. And I know when he touches the ball, someone's band's going to be playing. And I hope it's ours. So that's the way I feel about LD. I think he's going to be a really special player here as long as he keeps moving in that direction.
Did you expect, you guys have a lot of ball carriers. Did you expect him to be in the mix, to be leading that room as soon as he has?
No, not at all. I mean, not from a talent standpoint. I thought we felt really good about him from a talent standpoint, but I didn't know that I expected the maturity that I see in him on a daily basis. And he's not this guy that clowns around the back of the room. A lot of these freshmen show up to the building 5 minutes before they're supposed to be here, and that's just not who he's been since he's gotten here. He's always had a chip on his shoulder, and he felt like that he really wanted to make a difference early, and he certainly has, and I'm proud of him, and I'm hoping that he continues to work in that direction. I don't see any let up. Last week, the bye week, we tried to rest him a little, and he was like, nah, I need to get better, and he wanted to carry the ball, and he did. So we're really pleased about where he's at right now.
Had a pretty good home crowd last time you guys were here. It was a pretty impressive crowd. Obviously, it's the first home game of the season, but a message to the fans. The difference you've been talking about it all year, even in preseason, about how differently you feel about this team, and that you confidently feel that this is one of the better squads that you've put out, just as far as diligence to work to get after it, and then you're beginning to see the product on the field with one of the best wins in Lamar football history against South Dakota. And then just coming into this week, another home game, message to the faculty, message to the students, to the fans that, what is this football team, and come out and watch us on Saturday.
Yeah, message to the flock, the student section, which was as good as it's been certainly since I've been here, but I know that a lot of our people that have been around a while said that's the best it's been in a long time. And just keep coming out, keep showing up, and we're going to keep putting a great product on the field for you, and we want you to show up, be loud behind their bench. Last year they had a DJ behind us at UCA, and they were playing all kinds of music and stuff in between, and we want them to be loud. We want them to be disruptive. We want UCA to know they're there, and but we appreciate everything they did, and really getting that student group out there, and we hope that they'll be back, and we'll just keep putting good performances out there so they keep coming and filling those stands. So we appreciate even the Beaumont community, which has really showed out for us in the last couple of years, and more so this year. So keep coming, and it's going to be a good product. Tailgate's going to be great, and it's going to be a lot of fun.